day that first week after Christmas. I was living in sweatpants, and not in a cute, cozy, sipping hot cocoa kind of way. I was so bloated that everything felt tight. My energy had completely flatlined. And honestly, I knew my body was crying out for a reset, but the last thing I wanted was another restrictive diet or some punishing workout plan. So, I decided to do something totally different. For 30 days, I focused only on gentle, simple meal ideas and a few small mindset shifts. And the results were not at all what I was expecting. You indulge, you feel awful, and then you spend all of January punishing yourself with intense workouts and sad, bland meals. But this time, it felt like more than just physical discomfort. I had zero energy to play with my kids. Brain fog was making it impossible to focus at work, and my mood was just permanently in the gutter. I was mentally exhausted from the guilt. Every holiday treat came with a tiny voice in my head, already calculating the treadmill time required to burn it off. I'd tried all the quick fixes before juice cleanses, cutting out entire food groups, promising myself I'd do hours of cardio. They all ended the same way. I'd feel deprived, I'd fail, and then I'd overeat again, feeling even worse than when I started. It turns out the real damage isn't the cookie. It's the panic response that comes after. Views. If you've ever felt trapped in that cycle, let me know in the comments. You are definitely not alone. I finally hit a wall. I just couldn't face another January of self-punishment. And that's when it hit me. The root of all that post-holiday misery isn't a lack of willpower. It's a system that's completely overwhelmed. My body wasn't broken, it was just stressed out from all the rich foods, extra sugar, and wacky schedules. It didn't need punishment. It needed a gentle helping hand. So, I created a 30-day experiment for myself. My Christmas belly reset. The rules were ridiculously simple. No calorie counting, no forbidden foods, and no workouts that felt like a penalty. The only goal was to reduce bloating, reset my digestion, and get my energy back by focusing on simple, consistent habits. It was about resetting, not restricting. My 30-day plan was broken down into a simple, week-by-week guide. Think of it less as a rigid diet and more as a roadmap to help my body find its happy place again. Week 1 was all about a gentle reset and getting back to basics. I stopped grazing on random holiday leftovers and went back to simple, whole foods. The single biggest change was making sure I had a good source of protein with every single meal. This was a game changer for my energy levels and stopped me from feeling hungry all the time. I also made a real effort to hydrate, kicking off every morning with a huge glass of water. And I started a simple food and symptom journal. This wasn't for counting calories. It was just to jot down what I ate and how I felt. Week 2 was about adding in the good stuff and supporting my gut. Instead of obsessing over what to cut out, I focused on what I could add in. I made it a fun goal to eat as many different colorful veggies as possible, literally feeding the good guys in my gut. This is also when I started bringing in fermented foods, like a scoop of Greek yogurt with my breakfast, or a little kimchi on the side of my lunch. These are packed with probiotics, which are fantastic for your digestive health. Week 3 was for listening to my body. By now, my journal was showing me some clear patterns. For example, I noticed that big heavy meals right before bed consistently left me feeling puffy the next morning. So I started leaving about 3 to 4 hours between meals, which gave my digestive system a chance to actually rest. And finally, week 4 was all about maintenance and mindset. This is where it all clicked into place. I was consolidating what worked and, most importantly, practicing the mindset that would make this last. I was learning how to handle social events without feeling like I was off the plan, mainly because there was no rigid plan to fall off of in the first place. Now, the best part of this whole thing was how simple and delicious the food was. I was not eating boring diet food. For breakfast, I'd often have a big bowl of Greek yogurt with berries and some nuts. That combo of protein, fiber, and healthy fats kept me full and buzzing with energy all morning. Another favorite was a savory veggie omelette with spinach and mushrooms. For lunch, my go-to was a rainbow salad. I'd fill a giant bowl with leafy greens. Toss in whatever leftover roasted veggies I had, add a lean protein like grilled chicken or salmon, and finish it with a simple lemon and olive oil dressing. I also made big batches of hearty broth-based vegetable soups that were so comforting and easy on my stomach. Instead of a heavy, creamy dish, I'd have herb-roasted salmon with a side of crispy roasted Brussels sprouts and a baked sweet potato. Salmon is full of omega-3 south, which can help lower inflammation. And the whole meal was just delicious without leaving me feeling weighed down. Even desserts and snacks were still on the table. I'd have a handful of nuts and a piece of fruit, or a warm-baked apple with a sprinkle of cinnamon. These choices totally satisfied my sweet tooth without the dreaded sugar crash. A simple trick I used was the plate guide. I'd aim to fill half my plate with colorful vegetables, a quarter with a lean protein, and the last quarter with a high-fiber carb like quinoa or sweet potato. 2. It's a visual shortcut that makes balanced eating almost automatic. This reset was so much more than just food. It was about completely rewiring my brain. This is the part that made it actually stick. First, I had to ditch the all-or-nothing mentality. In the past, one cookie would make me feel like I'd blown the whole day, so I'd just give up entirely. This time, I embraced the idea that one meal doesn't define anything. If I had a piece of cake at a birthday party, I enjoyed it, and then my very next meal was right back to the gentle, supportive foods that made my body feel good. The second shift was setting gentle boundaries. I finally learned how to politely say no, thank you, without feeling awkward. I'd use simple phrases like, that looks amazing, but I'm going to save some room for that dessert I love later. It felt surprisingly powerful. If I did eat something that left me feeling bloated or tired, I approached it with curiosity, not criticism. Swapping that guilt spiral for a repair mindset was a complete game changer. So, after 30 days, what really happened? Honestly, the results were better than I could have ever hoped for. The constant, painful bloat was the first thing to disappear. Within a week, I noticed a huge difference. I could button my jeans without having to lie down on the bed to do it. But the most shocking result was my energy. I genuinely wasn't expecting this. I thought post-holiday fatigue was just my cross to bear. But by week 2, I was waking up before my alarm, feeling genuinely refreshed, stable, consistent energy all day long, without needing a constant IV drip of coffee. My focus returned, and the brain fog was just gone. And mentally, I felt so much lighter. The cloud of guilt that used to follow me around had vanished. My relationship with food was actually starting to heal because I was finally listening to my body instead of fighting it. It was never about the number on the scale, but I ended up feeling more confident and comfortable in my own skin than I had in years. This whole journey taught me that you don't need to suffer to get back on track. 2. If you want to try this gentle approach for yourself, I've put together a free one-page guide with some of my favorite debloating meal ideas and a simple 7-day tracker so you can start connecting your own dots. And of course, if you want more videos on realistic wellness and building healthy habits without all the diet culture nonsense, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. This 30-day experiment taught me that my body isn't broken, it was just asking for a little support. This is about resetting, not restricting. It's about kindness, not punishment. It's proof that you don't need an extreme diet to feel absolutely incredible in your body again. Thanks for watching.